Hello, so Signashman here, and today we are going to talk about how to choose a main character in Melty Blood type Lumina. Now, this game has blown up after Evolution 2022, and a lot of new players are getting into this game, which is super amazing. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of characters on this character select screen to choose from, and it can actually be kind of hard to choose your main. So I am here to help with that. I'm going to go over these characters and kind of talk a little bit about what they have to offer. Now, even if you're not trying to take this game on a competitive scale, even at a casual level, all of these characters are like super cool and super fun. All of these characters are super unique, and with the universal mechanics and the triangle system of the game, every character can win. So I say choose the character you like the most. First, we are going to start with PCL. Now, PCL is a character that specializes in far range pokes. It is very hard to challenge this character at the mid range, and she is super dominant from that range. She also has a low unblockable, which is pretty unique to Melty Blood because most characters do not have low unblockables. They have high unblockables that must be shielded high, but she actually has a unique low unblockable that must be shielded low to avoid it. And her execution is pretty high, I'm not gonna lie. Her JB knocks the opponent down and you can actually OTG and pick up combos, but her overall optimization in her combos is a little on the higher end. So if that sounds like the type of character you want with the range and the high execution cap, then PCL will definitely be your character of choice. Next, we will talk about Arcueid. Now, Arcueid, she is an offensive monster. She has plenty of plus frames with 623B, 236A hold, and 214C. Those are all like her plus frame moves. So she has a lot of moves to keep the opponent guessing on the defensive end of things. She also comes with a combo throw, and you can actually, if you hold down, you can make it an Aoko throw. So her combo throw only combos in the corner, but it's very unique because her whole game plan is to corner carry you. A lot of her combos have really good wall carry. She can corner carry you, bring you to the wall, and put you in mix-up situations with the strike throw. And last but not least, her aerial normals are actually pretty insane. Her JB and JC are devastating to get hit by. So next, we got Akiha. Now, Akiha, not a very popular character in the meta at all. However, she is one of the most dangerous characters in the game. She has a very strong set play with her rings. Anytime she knocks you down, she can set up a ring and go for a throw, overhead, or whatever she wants to do to keep the opponent guessing. She also has a command grab level 3, which is pretty unique. Now, she does have a level 1 command grab, not too useful in the sense that the range isn't that great, but it does beat shield and if the opponent sits there, because you would have to jump it before the flash. But her level 3 command grab is like super devastating. Anytime she has 3 bars, you have to worry about that. And her throw, which is unique, her universal throw actually gives her white life back. So if you are down on life, if you throw somebody, you actually get some white life back. So when you do decide to burst, you can regen a lot more health than was even possible just because her throw actually gives life back. So that's a pretty cool thing Akiha has going for her. Now we got Shiki. Shiki would be kind of like considered like the Shoto of the game, but Shiki doesn't have any projectiles like the Shotos we're used to. Now, Shiki is just a very solid character, very solid neutral, can play in the air and the ground, has very good normals just in general. Now, the unique thing about Shiki is when Shiki does level 3, Shiki goes into Nanaya install, and Shiki gets a lot of new moves and can even feint some of these moves. Very dangerous in Nanaya install. So sometimes during the end of the round, you might want to close out that round with a level 3, because if you close out the round with a level 3, the next round you actually go into that round with Nanaya install. And also, Shiki comes with a very low air dash, which is really good in the strikes throw scenario, because if you try to tech throw, Shiki is so low that can easily bait out your throw attempt and dish out a lot of damage. So super devastating, and nobody has a dash like Shiki. Shiki's dash is unique to him. So then we got my Maids, Hisui and Kohaku. Super fun set play characters. Unlimited options. You can do whatever you want to do with these characters. They are not limited to anything. Just use a lot of creativity with these characters is what I would say. Now, the most unique thing about the Maids is they can actually switch mid-match. So, you know, in most fighting games, when you lose, you can switch characters, but when you win, you have to stay with the same character. Well, the cool thing about Hisui and Kohaku is if you know how to use both of them, you can just switch at any point in time. So technically you're using two characters in one, which is pretty amazing and pretty unique to fighting games. I actually have never came across another fighting game with the Hisui Kohaku style character. So if you like the ability to just be like super creative and basically do whatever you want to do, and they are like an assist type character, kind of like almost like a puppet character, so if you like those style of characters, the Maids would definitely be for you. Ciel? Now Ciel is a bit different, super straight by the book. However, her projectiles are like pretty amazing. I think actually the best projectiles in the game. For the purpose they serve, they're pretty devastating. Because the thing about her projectiles is anytime she throws black keys at you, she can just confirm into super and it dishes out a lot of damage for just raw projectiles hitting you. This character also comes with a command grab. She actually kind of reminds me of Vega with some of her moves like wall jump and stuff. She's a very unique character. But yeah, she does come with a command grab, so the opponent cannot just be sitting there all willy-nilly. They definitely have to make moves. You can react to it, but she has a lot of layers from her aerial dive. It's kind of gimmicky, but she does have a lot of layers for her aerial movement, and they kind of buffed her aerial movement in the patch as well. Now, what I will say is they nerfed her damage, but to maximize Ciel, she definitely has some more difficult routes that require execution to do a lot of damage off of Moondrive, and I think that is the base of Ciel's play. So if you like a high execution character that can dish out a lot of damage, once you start like dissecting the character, Ciel would definitely be the character for you. Mario. So now we got Mario, right? Mario, a newer character. Mario has very strong Oki. Oki even got better in this patch because of how they changed some of the mechanics around. With the whole shield ordeal, but like super strong Oki, and because Mario can call his sisters, they add a pretty unique element to the neutral, because you always have to be worrisome about them just hitting you at neutral randomly, and Mario can just like get a full conversion at any point in time. And I also think Mario has arguably the best anti-air in the game in 3BC. We call it the Spider-Man. 3BC is a very amazing anti-air for when you just know that opponent is leaping in the air. You can actually snatch them out the air and get a pretty damaging combo into some good set play. So Mario kind of on like the puppet aspect, the puppet archetype of character with the nuns, his sisters. They control a lot of the neutral and are pretty much what you're going to be using the most with Mario in general. So now we got Dead Apostle Noel. Now, one thing to note, this character is probably one of the most dangerous characters in the game, in the sense that her Oki is a complete gamble and it is a complete guess. Now, there are options where you could kind of limit the options of which you might get hit by, but Dead Apostle is pretty strong in the right hands. She has very strong neutral too, not just the Oki. The Oki, we talk about the Oki a lot about this character, but her neutral and her projectiles and how they work and how she can set down staffs and make them explode on command is pretty devastating, if you ask me. And I do feel like she is still one of the strongest characters in the game, but a lot of characters did get buffed in the patch, so she's still just a solid, strong character. So if you do like set play characters, I would recommend that Apostle, because I believe that she has the strongest set play in the game. Vlov, the dreaded Vlov. Now Vlov, anytime you see this character in bracket, you definitely have to be afraid, because this character is by far, you could arguably say, the best character in the game, or at least in the top 3 still, even after the patch. This character definitely has the best zoning in the game entirely. Zoning is very, very hard to get around, and as you all know, fire and ice. So if you've been a spectator and you see Vlov have fire, sometime ice, you probably wondered how and why. So Vlov starts off in fire, which is still a very solid aspect of Vlov. However, when Vlov loses, Vlov goes ice mode, and ice is the final boss. Ice is very hard to get in on. The zoning can be like super annoying, but all in all, you have to take your time against Vlov, and that's what Vlov forces. But one thing that Vlov does have access to is a very easy and accessible unblockable. So if you are in the air in this game, and let's say a projectile hits you, and opponent hits you with a super that is air unblockable, or a normal, it will be air unblockable from the ground. So Vlov has access to this air unblockable off of ice into super, or fire into super as a anti-air. So this character has a lot of unblockables. So anybody that watched Evo probably saw a lot of unblockables from Vlov. Super strong character, super hard to fight, but once you get used to the mechanics of the game, you'll probably understand how to fight Vlov a little easier. Then we got Michael Roa. Now, a lot of people call Michael Roa Honest Mids Michael. Now, this character comes with a very low air dash. So you know how I talked about Shiki earlier. Now Roa, the unique thing about Roa's air dash, it's very floaty, but it does not pass over the opponent. So if the opponent is on the ground and Roa like air dashes towards them, Roa will not go over. So the low air dashes are good for baiting out throw attempts and or just frame trapping in general. So this character also comes with a strong lockdown. So you couple the low air dash with a strong lockdown with lightning bolts, this character can be devastating to block. So good defense is a must when you fight Roa. And just in general, we call it the needle. One of his moon skills is definitely one of the best moon skills in the game. It is a projectile that hits at 3 different angles, bounces you off the wall, and gives him a free super. So Roa's neutral is definitely, in my opinion, top 5 in the game. This character is like a super good character in the right hands for sure. Now we got Kouma. Now Kouma, for anybody, if you like grapplers, if you like any type of grapplers, Kouma is going to be the character for you automatically. This game doesn't have too many grapplers. I actually think this is the only grappler character in the game. I don't even know about the Melty Blood series, like in all, but for sure in type Lumina, this is your grappler archetype. Kouma comes with strong super armor, has a lot of moves to buff up super armor. So when it comes to a grappler having super armor and command grabs, you already know how that goes. And Kouma actually has some Rekka pressure as well, can delay Rekkas. So kind of think of like Fei Long. You can delay the Rekkas as long as you want to fish for frame traps, but the ender on Kouma's Rekka is an actual overhead. So in a lot of instances, because of the hesitation, this character can keep going and extend his pressure. Pretty scary if you ask me. Noel. So Noel actually got buffed in the patch, which is beautiful because this character was not getting too much play before the patch, but now with the patch, definitely getting a lot more play. Now the biggest thing about this character is she's a heavily resource-based character, meaning she only comes with a limited amount of black keys. So you know how Ciel has black keys and they're just infinite? Noel actually wasn't so lucky. Her black keys are limited. So you do not want to throw them all willy-nilly at neutral and lose all of your high damage output keys, because if she does hit you with a raw key at neutral, you can actually get a lot of damage just because a projectile hits you, and that's the unique thing about her and the way that she can use her black keys. Now her pokes, as you see, her staff is super long, so she can actually poke you from like a really good mid-range, and her 5C actually brings the opponent towards her for some really sick pressure. I think her rebeats are some of the best rebeats in the game, and if you're not familiar with rebeats, I actually have a video about rebeats on my channel as well. So this character, if you like super long ranged poke characters, kind of like PCL, she doesn't have as much range as PCL, but a little less range. But I believe that her rebeats are probably arguably better than PCL. So if you like the mid-range characters, Noel would definitely be the character for you and managing resources. Aoko, everybody's favorite Aoko, the girl with the white tee. So Aoko, the cool thing about Aoko is one of the most technical characters in the game. At base level, she's not as technical, but once you start to take this character to the negative edge level, like her orbs can be negative edge, meaning that you can actually hold a button down and keep it on the screen as long as you're holding that button down. And that's pretty much the aspect of her that makes her a lot harder, because some of her combo and pressure revolve around negative edge. So if you don't have the negative edge, her pressure and her combo structure might not be the same, and that could mean the difference in a lot of damage. And then another thing about Aoko is she does have the ability to zone and rush down, which in Melty Blood, generally some character archetypes only have one. Like a Arcueid is only rushing you down, she's not the zoning type. Vlov is generally only zoning you. However, Aoko can do both, because she does have overhead mix, but she also does have laser beams to keep you out. So if you like a character that can do everything with a little technicalities, I think Aoko is the girl for you. Then we got Neko. Everybody loves Neko. Like, who doesn't love Neko? Now, Neko, the important thing about Neko is a fun character. Like, Neko has a lot of random outcome situations. So, like, kind of think of Faust, where random things are gonna happen in the match. Like, the screen is definitely gonna be littered with things that you cannot control and you cannot see, and you're just like, what is actually going on? And you really don't want to see two Nekos fight each other. You just won't be able to tell anything that's actually going on the screen. Everything will be like super chaotic. But I would say pick up Neko if you want to have some fun with Melty Blood and you want to laugh with your friends and just joke around and have some fun. Play Neko. Even if you want to play her competitive, she can definitely play competitive. But one thing I will say about the competitive aspect of Neko, if you do want to take Neko to that competitive level, I will say that you're going to have to basically try to confirm off of everything that's happening on the screen, which can be a little difficult. So I would say her learning curve, if you want to take her a little more serious, is a lot higher. But if you want to play her kind of like on a casual level, then go for it. Miyako was my actual first main of this game. Like, she is a strong, super strong pressure character. She was one of the most scariest rush down characters. They have toned her down in a couple of versions. However, she is still a strong character in the right hands. She has a cross up and an overhead. They are definitely slower in both demands. The overhead, the first part is not overhead anymore, so you have to make it whiff to actually get the hit, and the cross up is definitely a lot slower and more reactable. So she's definitely a toned down version, but the cool thing about Miyako, she actually has a combo throw standing up. She can actually like combo you, and I think that's actually where she shines, because she can go for like a lot of tricky resets and setups, and that's generally where you're going to be getting a lot of your damage. Now her normals are a little bit on the stubby side, however she can still compete with the best. Kohaku. So Kohaku solo is definitely different from the dual mains, but the thing about Kohaku is she is just a very strong set play character in general. If you've ever heard of Plant Oki, her 2-2B summons a plant, and you can go for a throw, a overhead, or any type of mix-up situation to make your opponent guess. So she has a lot of options when she knocks you down. Post 236C, which is her main combo ender, and or her throw where she actually gets Plant Oki as well. This character also comes with some of the best pokes in the game in 5C and 2C, 5B. Like all of her normals are super good, and they all have like super creative usages. And she's also just like a super fun character. So definitely like my favorite maid of the two. And then we have the king, Saber. So Saber actually got buffed. Super solid character. It's not a lot to her, but I think the most important part about her, she actually does an insane amount of damage for no difficulty. Like as basic as she is, she probably does some of the most damage in the game. She comes with the Avalon parry. Like this counter is actually kind of ridiculous. So when she has 3 bars, she can Avalon, and it actually counters everything in the game. You actually cannot do anything about it. You do not want to engage with her when she has 3 bars, and you do not want to touch her when she activates Avalon, or you will go into a cutscene, and yeah, it won't end well at all. And another cool thing about Saber is she's another character like Kouma with Rekkas that she can kind of manipulate the block stun, and they actually buffed Rekkas, so she has a lot more options when she is near you to open you up. Then we got Hisui. Now Hisui just won Evo. Shout outs to Jing for winning Evo. Hisui, a very dangerous character once she locks you down on block with dust. She has a lot of options to open you up with like triple overheads, bento. She throws items. She has a lot going on, I'm not gonna lie to you. And very tricky to block. Even at the highest level, we all still get hit by this character. But the cool thing about this character is she's very unique in the sense that when she does lock you down with her dust, she can play around with a lot of different block strings to like bounce you off the dust in between and kind of like sandwich you in the situation and put you in the worst possible situation. So if you like super pressure based characters with like tricky block strings, Hisui is definitely the girl for you. Then we got Red Arcueid, aka Work. Red Arcueid, very different from regular Arcueid, because Red Arcueid actually comes with a fireball, so her neutral is like super strong. She has air fireballs, ground fireballs. They're like super fast. She can alter angles, so much more neutral focused than regular Arcueid. Regular Arcueid is like super based on like just pure rushdown. Red Arcueid is more based on and focused on the neutral aspect and getting hits. Now, Red Arcueid also does have some mix because she actually has a teleport. Now, most characters in Melty Blood do not have a teleport, so it's very unique that Red Arcueid has a teleport. She can stay in front, go behind you, go in the air, so she's pretty tricky to block and a very well-rounded character, to say the least. And last but not least, Mash. Now Mash just dropped with the patch, and this character gives me Captain America vibes from the Marvel vs. Capcom series. So if you are familiar with that series, Mash definitely might be the girl for you, because most of her attacks kind of mirror Captain America's. She has a very strong with punishment game. If you miss anything at mid-range, she can immediately shield bash you into a full combo route for a lot of damage, because she actually does a lot of damage. She has a lot of ways to get plus frames off of her 22B and 22C. Like, her plus frames are actually probably the best in the game, so she can pretty much force you to want to press a button even though you know you shouldn't, and then counter hit you and delete your life bar. And her corner carry to add is like super strong. Every combo she does generally sends you coast to coast. Picking a character in Melty Blood type Lumina can actually be pretty difficult, because a lot of these characters are like super cool and super fun. But just like I said in the beginning, definitely pick the character that you vibe the most with, because all of these characters are like super good, and any character can win in Melty Blood type Lumina. Hopefully this guide helped y'all on y'all's adventure to pick a main, and I will see y'all soon, YouTube. Peace.